A lot of times, the only thing standing between you and a sale with your prospect is a sales objection. One or two questions is preventing this person from pulling out their credit card and paying you right then and there. Sales objections is probably the most difficult thing to conquer as a salesperson or a business owner, and those who do train and practice under how to handle them end up being the ones that take home millions of dollars a year in profit. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Ravi Abuvala, founder of Scaling with Systems, where we build profitable client acquisition systems for our clients. So we have not only screened and listened to thousands of sales calls for our clients, but our company on average generates a few hundred calls ourselves every few weeks. So in this video, I'm actually going to be surprise calling on FaceTime a few of our top sales reps who have taken home hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and ask them random sales call objections that I personally know are some of the largest ones our clients talk about, and see how they'd handle it. My man.
I was like, is this a scammer? Get my information?
What's up, brother? Look, I got you live right now on YouTube. I'm calling our sales team and I'm asking them some objections so you guys can help people out there that are looking to close additional sales themselves. So my question for you is this, right? You're on a sales call with somebody, they're thinking about working with us, and then they bring up the objection that, well, I'm thinking of working with this other company for X or Y reason. What do you say back to them in order to close the deal on that call there?
I mean, to me, the biggest thing that we don't want to do is play the game of, well, here's how we're different. Because what you do is you immediately lose the frame of that call. So what you want to do is see what are the benefits that that company has. Is that even important to them, or is that a smokescreen? So for us, what I see time and time again is immediately what happens with that advisor is they go into, well, here's why we're different, here's why you should work with us. But really what we want to do is leverage the benefits that that person, that prospect is using, and then we position ourselves how we can utilize that, but it's just a percentage of what Scaling with Systems has to offer and how it will get them to their overall goal.
So the idea behind it essentially is like, if you came up to that part in the call where they had that objection, instead of letting them get off the call and maybe hear what other people have to offer, and instead of you also saying stuff like, oh, well, this is why we're different, instead you're saying like, look, you told me that XYZ is your number one problem that you want to get solved. This is exactly how we're going to solve it. Why do you need to search for it anywhere else?
1000%.
I love it. Awesome. You're the man, brother. Appreciate your answer. Talk to you soon.
All right. I'll see you, bud.
See ya.
Yo.
My man.
Yo, you called me at the wrong time. Come back from the gym. I just take a shower.
This is perfect. This is perfect. All right, so you're live on my YouTube video right now. I'm calling our sales guys, our top sales guys, and I'm asking them one sales objection that they need to answer for me. And just so people have a little bit of context here too, not only are you our youngest salesperson, but also you were #1 for one of our offers last month. Isn't that right, on our sales team? I love it.
#1.
That's what I love to hear. All right, so you're on a sales call, you're talking to somebody, and they go, you hit them with the pitch, you've handled a few objections, and they go, look, I really want to make this decision, but I need to talk to my spouse. I need to talk to my wife. I need to talk to my husband. What do you typically say at that point in order to overcome that objection?
Yeah, I mean, first off, based on the way you frame the call and everything, you got to understand, you got to make sure they understand that, this is for them, right? And I completely understand that, they want to speak to their spouse or, they want to speak to their significant other. But, I always make sure that I pinpoint exactly why they want to. But, for me personally on my calls, I like to spend a solid, 5 minutes to actually go under that, because speaking to their spouse is just, trying to tell themselves that they need more time to think about it, right? It always comes down to that, in my opinion, them just trying to think about it. But, at the end of the day, if you want to think about it, analysis process is just going to kick in, right? You're trying to, take a little bit extra time to think about it. Then your brain's going to start to convince you that, hey, this is probably not for you. Don't be uncomfortable to try to reach the goals that you're trying to do. But then that's where looping starts again, right? You start to loop back to their goals, their reasons, and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I always ask them, would your spouse be happy if you take action on reaching XYZ, et cetera, et cetera? And based on their responses, I start to go in depth in certain things and keep looping back. But for me, I always end up, closing the deal. Well, 70% of the time, I always end up, going proper in depth and closing the deal, based on what their reasons are. Because it's not really, I want to talk to my spouse. It's kind of just they want to kind of, you know, take a little bit of time to think about it, if that makes sense. It always comes back to that.
So you're saying the main thing is that when people say they want to talk to the spouse, majority of the time that's just a smokescreen because they want to kind of take a few more minutes or a few more hours or a few more days to make a decision because they know this is scary. And so what you do is pretty much loop back again and make sure, number one, that it actually isn't that they need to talk to their spouse, and instead it's that they have some kind of limiting belief. And then number two, you pretty much handle that limiting belief on that call.
Exactly. Always on the call, because the thing is, if I let them go on that call, it's going to affect them more, because for them, just like I said, you know, analysis paralysis is going to kick in. They're going to have more time to think about it, which is not a good thing, because, you know, once again, they're going to start to, you know, have extra time to convince themselves that don't be uncomfortable, don't step out of your comfort zone, don't take action. Because just like you always tell me, right, like, you know, action leads to insight more than insight leads to action. Best time to plant the tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is right now. I don't mind what they do, but I'm going to steer them in the right direction, right? Either they can, you know, let's just say they're 25 years old. In 2 years, regardless if they take action or not, they're going to be 27. Either they can look back and be like, I tried it out, whether it worked or it didn't, or they can look back and regret, or, you know, just think about it and be like, I wonder how it would have been if I tried something or tried that specific thing 2 years ago.
Love it. Epic, epic, epic. Well, listen, man, you finish up your shower and we'll chat soon, all right? Appreciate you, man.
I think about that.
See ya. Jake?
Can you hear me?
What's up, brother?
What a surprise. You got me at a good time with the animals.
Oh, good. So we're live on the YouTube real quick, but just so we don't take too much time, show me, you got an animal we can show people real quick? Jake is part-time salesperson, part-time Tiger King.
Full-time farmer.
Full-time farmer. You got anybody we can show oh, Zeus. What's going on, Zeus? Oh my God, that is, for those of you looking at home right now, that is a zebra that Jake has in his backyard. Jake, really quickly, I have a question for you. So I'm calling all of our reps and I'm asking them an objection on a sales call and how they would handle it. So nobody knows that I'm calling them. I'm just throwing one out there. So you and I are on a sales call. We're wrapping up to the end. You've already financially qualified me. And at the end of the call, you throw the price out to me and I say something along the lines of, that's more than I thought. Or I say something along the lines of, is there a guarantee involved in it? Essentially, an objection around the idea that they're afraid to put that amount of money down.
Sure. Yeah, well, what's the maximum you're willing to invest in yourself and your business in that case?
I mean, half of what you told me is the maximum I'm willing to do.
Gotcha. Well, I didn't know that you had a ceiling on where you were able to invest in yourself. Has that always been something that you've done?
I don't know if there's a ceiling. I guess I'm just nervous that I'm going to do this and I'm not going to see a return on my investment.
Okay, well, if you're nervous, there's plenty of places that are hiring. There's actually a labor shortage at a lot of, you know, manual labor, you know, types of industries. You wanted to be an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be one, but I have to be careful about the things that I spend my money on.
Okay, well, if you want to be careful with stuff, again, I don't recommend entrepreneurship for you. It doesn't seem like the appropriate venture.
So can I do some kind of at least guarantee? Can you work on me halfway and give me a guarantee so I can make sure I get my money back?
I mean, we can consider that. But look, if I was able to get a guarantee for you, does that mean you'd be moving forward at the price we discussed?
If you could get me a guarantee, I think I might be able to do that.
So what you're saying is if I pull some strings, I get Ravi to greenlight a guarantee for you today, you'd be moving forward today?
Yes.
All right, well, let me see what I can do.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then that's when Jake calls me or messages me on Slack and asks for an OTO. Epic, my man. You are incredible. I love the animals as well. Thank you for hopping on here and we'll chat very soon. All right. Peace.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
Hello, I'm on a call
This is actually a great example. I'm literally calling our sales guys and asking them on a YouTube video how they would handle certain objections. So do you have any objections on the call here?
All is going so far. Nasim, this is Ravi.
Pleasure to meet you, Nasim.
Ravi, but obviously I know him.
All right, I'll let you get back to that call, Connor. Sorry about that. We'll have to call somebody else. Nasim, I hope we're looking forward to working with you very soon here, sir.
Okay.
See ya. Well, at least some of our sales guys are actually on sales calls.
I was like, who the hell's calling me right now? I was like, what the hell's going on?
The man, the myth, the legend. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Dude, chilling right now, just drinking my coffee, getting ready to go to the gym, just watching some. I know you don't watch UFC, but I'm watching some weigh-in shows right now. People weighing in right now. We got a big fight tomorrow.
All right, so listen, I am actually have you on my YouTube right now, and I'm calling our top sales reps, and I'm asking them how to handle a certain objection, how they would handle it, so I can help my YouTube viewers. Okay.
Let's get it.
All right, so you just finished a sales call. You qualified them beforehand. You had a great sales call. At the very end, you told them what they needed to do, what the program consisted of, and they responded back, look, this all sounds really great and all, but I just don't think that I have the time for this.
Great. So at that point, like, we would just then try to think about, like, what is really what's going on in their life. Okay, so you're talking about the time, right?
Yep.
Okay, so my bad. So with just the time, then it's just like, my bad. I just got kind of put on the spot. No, but okay, so so you're looking at, my bad, I'm just like thinking about this through. I feel like when you were giving us business problems at first, but right now that really speak to the person and really just try to, like, what are they doing in their life, right? Like what you kind of would speak about with us, like time chunking, like what are you doing in your day right now that you can potentially eliminate, where you can fit some time in, because at the end of the day, if you don't put time towards like what you want in the future, it's obviously never gonna, kind of show up in your life. So at that point, once again, I would try to like time audit, like what are you doing throughout the day? Like how many hours a day are you working? How serious are you about this? Like how important is it? Right? And then I would say, like, 2 years ago when I was trying to transition to get online, I myself didn't have a lot of time, but I remember literally taking calls like we're on right now. I would, like, literally in a car like this on my phone, right? I didn't have the ability to be at a computer, but I knew I didn't want to look back and be like, man, where could I have been, right? 'Cause then I would say, how many times have you had something in your life where you've been like, I want to be able to make a change, and at that time, and you look back and you haven't been to the point. And then I would, like, I would kind of maybe give them my example or something I know as an example of their growth, and then where they're at now, able to look back and be like, man, can you imagine where I would have been if I didn't make a change, or if I didn't put in the time. For me, when I saw scaling with systems, or I saw this opportunity, it was like, man, I can take this amount of money in X amount of time, but I have to take away some things that I'm doing now. And now I'm able to look back and be like, man, if I put the time or the effort or X, Y, like, I wouldn't have this growth that I have now. So I would just kind of go through examples like that, bring up in their life where they're at that point, and then try to walk them through it.
So pretty much what you're narrowing down here is that someone tells you they don't have enough time. The first thing you pretty much do is call out that that's kind of bullshit, because they're obviously going through some stuff in their life right now. Like what they're doing with their current time is not actually yielding them the result that they wanted, or they wouldn't be with you on the call in the first place. So then you're auditing some of their time and seeing what they'd be able to get rid of in order to potentially join the program. And then you kind of loop it again by adding in your own personal story of how you joined Scaling with Systems, because you were working, was it a window company, right? You were working at a window company. Yep, literally driving in a delivery truck while you're on team meetings with me, learning how to become a salesperson. Now you're one of the top sales guys, right?
Exactly. And it would just be, once again, just like hearing what they have to say, and then once again, like eliminating things that aren't necessary, right? And just seeing how serious they are as well. If you're not serious, then at the same time, with all due respect, we probably don't want to work with you, because I like to say, like, if you're not excited, it feels like we're kind of taking your money. We're taking your money. You're not, when you come to the program and you face some adversity, those people tend to crumble and they want a refund, right? But we've decided and you actually want this, let's go, let's do this, because you have the accountability, you have the coaching. We'll be there every step of the way to guide and support you. But you also need to understand, like, if you do face a problem, if you do face adversity, if you are excited, but if you're not excited, you fail. So I also try to elaborate on that and just be like, man, just make sure you're on the same page, keep pushing forward, and try to, motivate a little bit on, I guess.
I love it, my man. You were the man. Great answer. Sorry for putting you on the spot, and I'll chat soon.
Likewise. I appreciate it. Blessings. Have a good weekend.
See you, man. Okay, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I called some of the top sales reps in our company who have closed hundreds of thousands of dollars for our company in sales, and they gave you how they would handle specific objections. A few of the biggest points I'd love you to take away is, number one, that every single one of those objection handlers, if you heard them, would loop back onto something that the prospect said. So a lot of people, when they're trying to give you objection handlers, they're like, hey, read from this script, and that's how you're gonna handle the objection. But that does not work anymore. If you are actually good at sales, when you're going through the sales process, you should be taking notes on a piece of paper on your computer. And that way, when they bring up the objection of their spouse, or they bring up the objection that they don't have time, then you can loop back to something they referenced earlier. And I don't want to use the word hold that against them, but that's essentially what you're doing. You're like, oh, I don't have the time. Then you could say something along the lines of, oh, so I thought that a little bit ago you said that this was the most important thing that you needed to change in your life. And right now you're telling me you don't have the time. So why don't you tell me what is more important than the most important thing in your life? So understanding throughout the entire call what their pain points are and what their desires will help you when it comes time for the objections. And the second thing is, we're probably not even going to edit out the part for our rep who like stumbled in the very beginning of it. He was actually #1 rep that we had 2 months ago inside of our company, because I want to show you guys that like it is okay on a sales call if someone brings up an objection and you don't immediately know the response right off the top of your head. It doesn't mean that you're a bad salesperson. It just means that you need to buy yourself 1 or 2 seconds of your time. So you're saying, the thing that I always love to do is go, repeat the same question back to them. So you're saying that you don't have time right now. So just literally say that back to that person, and all of a sudden, that person is now on the defensive trying to justify to you why they no longer have time, while you are recalling in your brain how you can handle that objection. So that's actually a really great example, and that's just gonna be authentic that we give it to you that way. If you guys did get value out of this video, please, 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 smash the like button, hit subscribe, comment down below, and let me know what other questions that you have, maybe some additional objections that we didn't handle on this call that I can answer for you. Additionally, if you are a business owner looking to get better at sales and to get more sales appointments on your calendar, you can click the link in the description down below and learn of how we guarantee success for our clients. We've worked with over 2,000 businesses in the past 3 years. And if maybe you're just starting out and you want to learn a highly valuable skill such as sales, but one that's even more lucrative that requires less of your time, there'll be a link in the description down below that walks you through how to make your first $10,000 month online. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.